and she started working in a hospital, and he finished his career in 1994, and he studied in Lusama. She talks that the brain cannot repair itself, but other organs can. So she says that the dream of all neurologists is that to know how to repair the brain. She started working in a hospital, and all the patients that she had were with brain problems. So for helping them, they have to tear out a little bit of the brain. And instead of throwing it to the bin, she studied them. And finally, with many other neurologists, she discovered that with that part of the brain that is a 4% of the brain, they can put it again in another brain to so that part of the brain that have been in the hospital, that the other it can be again put in another brain. And the relation with the subject is that many years ago we didn't think that the brain could repair, and how the people evolve, and how the people evolve. And in the future I think that we are going to know how to repair it. And I like this tech talk because it is interesting, and I have knew a lot of things of the brain.
Thank you, Sarah.
You feel okay?
Yeah.
You've done it. Well done. Good. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You did well as well. You did really well. There's one bit where you felt you couldn't explain it, but you managed to keep it going. That's a good skill. That's a good skill to manage to, okay, stop. Can I continue it? And you did it. Well done. At the beginning, you just flipped he and she a few times. That's something that happens quite common. Be careful when it's a boy, he, when it's a woman, she. Always stick to those. Really nice, clear background of the author. I like it. I've got a really good idea of the author, of her background, and you know why this talk was kind of coming about. So that was good. I also want to know more about why you picked it specifically. Because it's interesting for me isn't enough. Because a lot of things are interesting, but why did you pick this one and not a different one? I mean, you don't have to tell me now, but I'm just, for the rest of you to think about, why do you pick your talk and not a different talk? Really think about that. Good. Well done. Finish.
Good morning. As you know, my name is Paula, and today I'm going to be talking about something that might or might not interest you, but it affects all of us. It's our look. We usually judge people by just their look without knowing how they are. So I'm going to give you an example of a woman that's Cameron Russell. She's an underwear model, and she has been that for 10 years now. When she was like around 10 years old, she wanted to be she wanted to study politics because she was very interested in that, and she really liked giving conferences to their family, for example, about a topic that she liked. But because of a friend of hers, she was led to a modeling career. In this TED Talk, she shows us how in less than 10 seconds, just by changing your clothes, people are going to have a different perspective of you. And also, she gave us an example of children that ask her a lot, how can they become models when they grow up? And she says that, why do they want to become models if there are loads of careers which are much more interesting than that? And then in their free time, they could go to a pastoral or just to a casting. This subject affects all of us all the population in general, but especially the youngest ones, like teenagers, because we mostly judge people like books by their covers, and she explains that we shouldn't do that because we should let people have liberty to wear or act like they want to be, but maybe they are not in that way in the inside. My personal opinion about this subject is that as I said before, we are teenagers, and it hurts. I have seen the cases of some people that are really sad because maybe their classmates judge them about what they wear, or if that dress isn't nice or is nice, and they stop wearing it just because of what people say.
Thank you.
Well done, finished. That was really good. Can I just say, that was really, really good. Especially the introduction. That was one of the best introductions I've heard, you know? Because immediately you said it affects everyone. You didn't start with, my talk is called this and it's about this, which most people do. You said why it affects everyone and why it's interesting. So immediately I think, oh, it affects me. I'm interested in this talk. I want to listen to what you have to say. Really good, excellent. Good pacing, good speed. Really good explanations of the talk, about what it was about. Really excellent. In terms of your body language was generally very good, but again, eye contact. You were looking up here a lot. I don't know what's up there, that's very interesting, but you know, I know it's, when you're nervous, it's difficult, but yeah, try and look at your audience, try and engage them. And also how your opinion of the talk, you related it to your experience as a teenager, and how often people are judged a lot by how they look as a teenager, and when we're not teenagers, but at your age group, it's often a big thing. So, excellent. Really impressed. Well done.
My
Well done.
TikTok is How to Spot a Liar by Pamela Meyer, and she is an American author of Washington, D.C. She studied in 3 different universities: the Washington University, the British School University, and the Claremont Glasgow School of University. She has written a lot of books like Lying Spotting or The Agility of Seed, and all of her books are about lying and liars and how to spot them. She talks about that we are all liars and how to, and she also talks about 2 main reasons about lying. The first one is that lying is a cooperative action, and this means that if you have been lied, it's because you have accepted to being lied. It's like you ask me a question and I answer you. So if I lie to you, you accept it as to be lied. Then, if you don't want to be tricked, you have to know what do you want. It's a very difficult to understand, but it's what she says. Then the second thing she says is that we are against lying, but we are covertly for it. This means that even we don't like lying, we do it. Well, there are truth detectors, and the truth detectors, the 90% of the times they get the answer right, and we, the humans, we only get it right the 54% of the times, and then it's a
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need to go back to work for the American people. Thank you.
Okay, what were the telltale signs? Well, first we heard what's known as a non-contracted denial. Studies showed...
She explains how to spot him lying, and one reason is that he uses more formal than informal language. Instead of saying didn't, he uses did not. And another thing is that he says that woman keeping the distance with the person about he's talking about. My personal opinion about this TikTok is that I have chosen it because I'm very bad at lying, and I wanted to know what I was doing. Huh? And also I have chosen it because I like all that is related with the mind and how our brain works. This has a relationship with the subject that is that, as we saw the first day of school, is that we are a society, and if we study these things, it would be better for us to understand the other people. For example, she talks about understanding us about lying and liars in our society.
Thank you, Aitana. Jean, please.
Well done. Stay there a second, stay there. Good, good. Nice delivery. I liked it. Nice, confident delivery. I thought you did well. You weren't just looking down, reading off your paper. You were standing up confidently. You'd obviously done some preparation. Yeah? Had you practiced it before? Good, yes. I liked how you said why it interested you. You know, you said, talking about why this particular video, why this particular topic was interesting to her. That's what I want to hear, okay? Because sometimes you don't really say, but you actually pinpointed that, so that was really good. I would say at the beginning you could have maybe just slowed it down a bit. Slowed it down, spoke a little bit louder, get a bit more eye contact to make it a little bit more engaging.
Yes, it's because we didn't have enough time, so I think if I go faster.
That's true, but it's better to do it with a higher quality than just try and speed up, then no one understands and things. But it was a good delivery. And just try and keep the papers still, not flap it about, okay? But otherwise, a good talk. It's interesting. Good.
Hello, my name is Jose Antonio, and my talk is about brain magic. His author is Keith Barry, that is a kind of mentalist or illusionaire, more or less like this. He go to there and he transformed, or he want to be a mentalist, because when he was 15 years old, he read in a magazine that one woman can read printed letters, and she was totally blind. Later, after a couple of years, well, when he was, I think, 23 years, he go to a TV program where he do an experiment that demonstrate the second side. That is a theory that scientific. In his talk, he talk about a lot of things about the brain, and I choose one thing that I think that is so interesting, that the brain can be distracted with work, with maybe only doing this, and the brain totally go to that. If you don't, I don't explain so well, but that's all. And my personal opinion is that I think that it's so good to know all the things, because it's knowledge. It's more things that you will know, that you will know for the future.
Okay, good. I like how you haven't got a note. I mean, it's in your pocket, and you only got it out once, but you didn't try and use notes. That's really good, okay? I hope more people will try and do that. Because most of you carry notes, but you don't look at them. You don't have time to read them, so just try not to. I like it. Good body language, try and get some more eye contact. I know there's a camera there, so it's tempting just to always look at the camera, but try and look at your audience, yeah? It really draws us in. Again, I liked how you picked out an element of the video that you found interesting, but the explanation was a little bit, I still don't understand why you found that interesting. But I like the idea of, I found this particularly interesting, okay, and then explaining it to us. But just next time think about how you explained it and prepare that a little bit better. But a good presentation. I think. Well done.
In this talk, Jocelyn Bloss talked about how her experiment has gone so far that was discovering how our brain repair itself.
This is a talk about a man that is called Keith Berry, that is a magician that sees by the eyes of another person.
In this TED talk, Andra Forges had found a new manner to have leather and meat without killing any animal. I think this is better because you don't kill any animal, and the flavor of the meat you can is natural. It's like natural.
This TED talk about Arabic poetry inspired by bold graffiti and place where a message of hope and peace can do the most.
Here in the TED talk, Keith Barry talks about how our brain can trick our body.
Teles Herden explains us how to have a better conversation with 10 different things that she explains to us.
She, who is a graffiter, combines calligraphy and graffiti and call it calligraffiti, and it talks about how he painted the minaret of the Mosque of Jara.
In my TED Talks, a person called Juan Enriquez talks about the dangers of update a photo in internet that it could be permanent as a tattoo.
My TED Talk is about creativity, that he talks about that schools skill or creativity because we have to remember much things, and I think that creativity has to be I don't know how to say
the center of our education.
My TED Talks about how a boy stays underwater without breathing 17 minutes.
This TED Talk, a robotic engineer talks about the technological world and how it makes our lives easier.
In this TED Talk, Andrés Rousseau talks about how he finds a mythical river that actually is guarded by a mythical creature.
My TED Talk talks about if we could cure HIV with lasers.
More than a million years ago, two black holes collide each other, and all that mass was in the space. And 25 years ago, a group of scientists created a giant laser called LIGO to see what the spatial waves are like.
My TED Talk talks about body language. The author is Amy Cuddy, and she talks about how every gesture that we do can tell what we are thinking or what we are feeling.
Harry is a teacher that loves all writings, and he has traveled all around the world to translate writings and manuscripts into our language.